Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video. This week's video is going to be on the April 2024 residential real estate stats for Belleville, Quinte West, and Prince Edward County. With market sentiment potentially changing, spring coming, bond rates rising, and a potential rate cut in June, we'll see how that affected the market in April. So let's get into the stats, starting with new listings. So starting with new listings in Belleville. Belleville had 181 new listings in the month of April. That's up year over year, 14.6% from April of 2023. I'm going to stop doing the year-to-date numbers for new listings and number of sales because depending on the time of year, it's really not relevant. We'll keep it for median sale price because you can see the increases or decreases in sale price since the start of the year. But really for new listings and number of sales, it doesn't really make a big difference. So Belleville, 181 new listings. That's the highest number of new listings since 2021, which was 195 new listings. As market sentiment picks up, more listings are coming on at the start of our first normal spring market, potentially. Quinte West, 140 new listings. That's up 12% year over year. So highest number of new listings in April, matching April of 2022. So April of 2022 had the same amount of new listings, 140. In Quinte West, lots of postings going on in Quinte West right now. The market was busy last month also in Quinte West with number of sales and new listings. So not really a surprise there in Quinte West. Prince Edward County, we've got 125 new listings coming on in April. That's down 9.4% year over year. So last year we saw the highest amount of new listings in any April in Prince Edward County. And obviously this was due to rising rates, people selling short-term accommodations, people selling vacation homes. So maybe those people are holding off a little bit because a lot of those listings didn't sell and they expired at the end of the year. So we'll likely see more inventory come on in Prince Edward County. It's just a matter of when. And I suspect that we may see more new listings come on in May, June, July, people holding off a little bit in the county to see that number of sales push up, which we'll get to next. Number of sales, we are red across the board in Belleville, Quinte West, and Prince Edward County for number of sales in the month of April. So let's get to Belleville first at 95 sales, down 12% year over year, down from the last 3 Aprils. Same story in Quinte West. This like $500K price point, that sweet spot and under, is moving really quickly, relatively quickly. Lots of interest. Good homes are selling. It's that $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 range that's struggling a little bit, sitting on the market a little bit longer, and inventory is starting to accumulate unless there's a really special feature about that home. We saw a bit of a blip earlier this year where that price point was transacting a little bit more. We're still seeing it go, just not to the extent that sellers would probably like, considering the amount of homes priced in that range. The good thing for Belleville is that although we're down 12%, we're down 36% from March year over year. And that was due to some negative publicity, probably from global news around that Bridge and Church Street area in Belleville. So to Quinte West, we have 71 sales. That's down 7.8%. So not down to the extent that Belleville is, but still almost double digits. I think this is really due to the amount of activity we had in March in Quinte West. It was a record March, so maybe those buyers who were intending on buying in April bought in March in Quinte West, so we're seeing a decline in sales volume for the month of April in Quinte West. Quinte West still has the lowest inventory of all these markets. Prince Edward County, 37 sales, that's down 21.3%. 37 is matching the number of sales from March. Same story here with new listings, I think, for Prince Edward County. We've got buyers holding off because they're thinking, what's to come? I know I have clients looking in Prince Edward County, and I know there was a lot of listings that didn't sell last year that are likely coming on in the spring, summer of this year. So if there's nothing exceptional on right now, I'm telling them, hold on a little bit, guys. We're going to see more come to the market, and you're going to have more to choose from. Lastly, this leads us to median sale price. So median sale price in Belleville, $515,000. That's down 11.7% from last year and down 1.1% from the start of the year. So again, when touching on the year over year and year to date numbers, I think it's important to look at the year to date numbers for median sale price because we're seeing what's happening from January. Whereas if we look at what happens with number of sales from January, obviously we're going to have more sales than in April than we did in January because it's the middle of winter. But back to the year over year numbers, down substantially, double digits, still sitting around that 500K price point. Now, this isn't to say that the market has dropped 12% from last April, because if we look at the benchmark price numbers, they clearly don't reflect that. But this does show that lower priced homes, as I was talking about in number of sales, are selling in Belleville. And we'll see the same trend in Quinte West, that purchasers' buying power just isn't there, or they don't want to take a big risk, so they're buying that lower risk option where the downside risk is mitigated because you're starting at a lower purchase price. So I think that's why we're seeing that lower sale price in Belleville and Quinte West, which we'll get to now, which is sitting at $562,000. That's down 11.5%, so almost mirroring what's happening in Belleville there percentage wise, but up 14.1% year to date. This is just a blip because the median sale price in Quinte West for January of 2024 was like $492,000. So we just had a really artificially low median sale price in Quinte West, which shows that artificially high year-to-date increase. But same thing happening in both markets. Like I spoke about, entry-level stuff, 500K, that price point moving really well, moving really quickly. That's where the majority of sales are happening around. And then that higher price stuff is just sitting for a little bit longer, and we're seeing less transactions happen at that price point. Prince Edward County, same kind of story, $630,000 median sale price. That is down 17.1% year over year, so almost 20% decline from last April. And year to date, it's up 3.7%. So same thing, last April, if you remember, there was a blip in consumer confidence. Bank of Canada held rates in the spring, and that kind of had a bit of a flurry for the spring market. Not cut, just hold, right? Because they were on an increasing bout, and then they held rates. Toronto market had a big uptick, which impacted Prince Edward County. It impacted Quinte West and Belleville as well, but probably not to the extent that the county did. So that's, I think, why we're seeing these median sale prices, double-digit declines in all three of these markets. Prince Edward County, as I say, always take this with a grain of salt, because a couple big waterfront homes that transact can really push this median sale price up. And likewise, if they don't, it'll get pushed down. So smaller sample size in Prince Edward County. So really for these numbers, we should be looking at benchmark sale price, but this is an indication that lower priced homes continue to sell. That's a quick recap on what's going on in the market for the month of April in Belleville, Quinte West, and Prince Edward County. Seeing a lot of red across the board here. The only green numbers we're seeing in a year-over-year basis is new listings in Belleville and Quinte West. So that's green for buyers, but not green for sellers. So it'll be interesting if we see this trend continue in May and June, because if we have number of sales still declining a little bit, median sale price declining a little bit, but new listings coming to the market, and continue to see just this entry level, around 500K sweet spot transact, we're going to see a lot of inventory build in that higher price point, which may cause the market to soften there. But on the flip side, we've got consumers expecting now rate cuts in June. Some people are thinking it's a shoe-in for rate cuts, which I really don't think so. And then on the other side, we have bond yields rising. So buyers who are getting fixed rate mortgages, who are getting pre-approved, they're now purchasing with a higher rate, which brings down their purchasing power and increases their mortgage interest costs. So we're at a bit of a funny time in the market, and only really time will tell how this pans out. But the market right now is just balanced and moving along. People need to move. Things happen in people's lives. So we're just seeing that normality of people moving. Lots of postings in Quinte West happening right now. So the market continues to transact and be just normal. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found this video informative, and stay tuned next week for a new video.